Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's July 14th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You got BC, Washington, Oregon here. Check out our low pressure system out here. It's going to take its sweet time before it moves across Pacific Northwest, puts an end to our bit of a warm spell here as we go through the weekend. Going to cool us down for a couple days, then we're likely to bounce back in temperatures a little bit here as we go on into next week. We'll take a look at that, but something interesting showing up in some of the models. Some precipitation, mainly Seattle north, across maybe Everett, up into southwest BC. Some of western BC might get some precipitation as this system moves through. We'll take a look at what the models have to say about that here coming up. This is looking at the visible satellite imagery. Look at BC and Alberta, low pressure system out here, hoping to drag some of the smoke down across eastern Montana here, some like extreme northeastern Washington, and you can see eastern BC kind of cloaked in this smoke here. Nice and smoke free right now across western portions of BC, western Washington, Oregon. We'll see how long that lasts here. No sign of that smoke coming down anytime soon, but that can always change here as we go through the summer months. This is looking at the visitor center here for Paradise Mount Rainier. That snow patch is long gone. Some nice blue sky out there. Not looking at much of a thunderstorm chance across much of the Cascades here today too. So nice day to be out there hiking. This is just a reminder, if you want to help support the channel here, you can buy some of the merchandise here. I've got the store linked up with the YouTube page here. It throws the channel a couple of bucks here. If you guys think of any designs and that you want to see, I can put them on some of this gear here too. So go ahead and leave that in the comments below. I like the moisture wicking t-shirts. Those are my favorite. They're really nice. My son wears them all the time. He's got a Dust Devil t-shirt he likes to put on all the time. And yeah, I like those t-shirts as well. They're very comfortable and they seem to last quite long. I actually also have the premium hoodie there. It's very good quality here and I wear it all the time as well. So anyway, if you guys want to support the channel, that's a good way to do it. Now here we go back to the forecast here. You can see Spokane, Pullman, Lewiston, Wenatchee really warming up, not to record highs here, but definitely above normal as we go through Saturday and Sunday coming up. And this is looking at the Willamette Valley. Check out McMinnville there. You're talking about, what, 97 degrees, or is that for Salem? Corvallis, 95. Eugene, 96. But look at the Oregon coast. If you want to beat the heat, get out to the coastline there. Big difference, sometimes 30-degree difference here between temperatures here. So, yeah, and even a chance of reaching 100 degrees here if you look across some of the central Willamette Valley there. So watch out for that fire danger, too. A little bit breezy there, especially during the afternoon. So watch out for that. This is southwest Oregon here, Medford. Check out Brookings versus some of the interior locations here. You're talking about that 30-degree difference again. Coos Bay out there. You want to beat the heat, get to the Oregon coast. If you want that heat, get inland a bit here. We're going to stay warm through at least Sunday before that marine push starts to make its way in. Some more onshore flow, cool down the region here. We'll take a look at that and some of the weather models here in a moment. This is looking at Seattle yesterday, 80 degrees, 3 degrees above average, no precipitation, maybe a little bit coming up here. We'll look at the weather models here. Stick with me for a moment, but we're going to remain warm here for at least the next couple of days. This is looking at 100-meter wind speed here. This is the European as of last night. You can see that low pressure system out here spinning around. Then finally it gets its act together and it marches through, and it's going to bring with it a pretty good onshore push here. You can see the Chehalis Gap wind start to get going here by the time you get to Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, and we get a decent marine push. It's going to cool us down for Monday. Might even bring a little bit of precipitation. Again, we'll look at that here in a moment, but you can see the onshore flow as you go on in through Monday afternoon shown here. And strong westerlies down the Strait of Juan de Fuca would be associated with that as well. This is looking at 24-hour 2-meter temperature change. So I want to show you what happens Monday. You see not too big of a deal here going on through Sunday morning. A little bit cooler maybe on Sunday afternoon, but watch what happens as you go on through Monday. You can kind of see that come across the region. Look at that big temperature difference here. You know, some 20-plus degree drops here across some of the higher terrain as we bring an onshore flow. It might help clear out some of the smoke here, even across eastern BC as well as we go through Monday afternoon. Nice onshore flow. We got Mother Nature's air conditioning here across the Pacific Northwest. Don't take it for granted. There are a lot of places across the country that would love to have this marine push. Now, this is looking at the European as of yesterday afternoon versus the GFS. We've got Alaska, BC, Washington here. There's our trough out here across the ocean. It's going to spin in place for a bit. We've got the ridge going on. That's why we're above average here through the weekend. Then this thing is going to march through and bring that, the air conditioning here, the Mother Nature's AC across the region. Then the European quickly tries to build the ridge in the wake of that. GFS, not quite as strong, but pretty similar here as you see. So we're going through hour 126 here. You can see that trough out over the Gulf of Alaska. Pretty good agreement with that. Just a little bit of minute differences between the trough position here and just how much we're going to warm up next week here. And then you can see this trough is precariously close here. You might bring some onshore flow with that, or if it backs up a little bit here, we would warm up more than forecast. But you can see the big ridge still across some of the southwest USA all the way out through hour almost 200 now we're looking. Now, this is looking at the European as well. This is the GFS on the right. You've got 6-hour precipitation. So you can see the low pressure spinning out there. It is bringing some precipitation across western BC here as we go through the weekend. And then you'll see the system try to march through here. And it's showing a bit of precipitation, maybe even for Vancouver, Bellingham, Everett, maybe a little for Seattle. Higher terrain doing a little bit better. The Olympics, Cascades might get some precip out of this as well. You can see decent agreement here with the GFS also. We'll take a look at one of the more shorter term models here in a moment, the NAM, the North American model, as we go. But you can see it did show a little bit of precip possible here. And this is our driest time of the year here across much of the Pacific Northwest, especially west of the Cascades. So anything would be beneficial this time of the year. This is the NAM 12 km here. So again, BC, Washington, Oregon, 6-hour precipitation total. Now as we go through Sunday, you'll see the system rolling through as we go through the day Monday. Everett might be kind of targeted here, at least according to the NAM. Even a little bit of precip for Seattle possible here as well. So yeah, the NAM agrees with the European and the GFS for potential a little bit of precip west of the Cascades. This is looking at the European. I kind of brought this one up just to see if there was any lightning potential here with the system as it rolls through. You can see the pop-up thunderstorms here across BC and Alberta, some of the Rocky Mountains, even the Blue Mountains might get a couple thunderstorms or whatnot, and you can see across some of the higher terrain of Montana and Idaho. But now we're going to watch this feature rolling through here Monday, and you can see a little bit of activity start to pop up over Vancouver Island, maybe east of Vancouver Island, southwest BC. It's pretty close to Vancouver there. Maybe a thunderstorm swinging by with that system as it goes through, but you see nothing popped up for western Washington, and not even really much for the Cascades here on that run. We'll watch that potential here over the next couple of days. This is Snohomish County, Painfield. So you can see as we go through the day today, Saturday, Sunday, and then the cool down comes Monday. You can see you don't get that big bump in the temperatures here, and you can see the increase in the potential for precipitation as you go through the day Monday. That would be about 2/10 of maybe a quarter of an inch of rain here shown. So yeah, there is that potential. And again, we'll watch that closely over the next couple of days. This is Seattle, and you can see what is that? Maybe 1/100 of an inch there, much less than Everett showing up here. And you can see the warm days today, tomorrow, Sunday, and then the cool down coming Monday with that onshore flow. This is looking at Vancouver, and you can see the warmth coming up here this weekend, and Sunday backing down a little bit here. But look at this, it's showing some precipitation coming in here as you go through the day Sunday, maybe even through Monday. We'll see how this looks on tomorrow's model runs here also. Pretty finicky trying to get precipitation west of the Cascades this time of year. Look at the European, not calling for much here. Maybe trace amounts with that system as it goes through, and really not much all the way through the end of July. I mean, the mean doesn't even really have 1/10 of an inch here. Only a few select ensemble members have any precipitation measurable anyway as through the end of July here for Seattle. This is Vancouver though, different picture up there. The further you go north, the better chance you're going to have with this, and maybe even kind of around the Everett area as well. But you can see you're getting a few tenths of an inch of rain in some of these ensemble members here. The mean is right around 1/10 of an inch, but we take anything you can get this time of year, and the mean for the end of the month is about 2/10 of an inch as well. But you can see there's even a couple of these ensemble members with higher amounts, but they are kind of few and far between. This is looking at Everett here. And again, you could see 1/10 of an inch here, maybe according to the ensemble mean here. And some of the ensemble runs have a 1/10, maybe 2/10 of an inch of rain as that system goes by. This is looking at Seattle Metro. GFS showing a little bit more here, as you can see, but the control run really not showing much. And the mean really only 1/10 of an inch on through the July 24th period here. This is looking at Seattle Metro. Look at the next 3 days, pretty warm. Then you can see that onshore flow clearly cooling us down and then potentially bouncing back after that, and we'll continue to watch that because there's a little bit of uncertainty just how warm we're going to get in the wake of that system. And you can see the red line is the average temperatures for this time of year. We are still increasing until about the end of July. Then we start slowly tailing off through August. You can see the average lows here as well, just kind of above average here. It looks like on through the end of July. This is Spokane, and you can see the onshore flow is even going to affect places eastern Washington here as well, dropping those temperatures back down maybe 15 degrees here Sunday versus Monday, and then maybe bouncing back above average here through the end of July as well. Portland, Oregon, something similar, backing down a little bit here on Monday, but you have some mid-90s showing up there for the Portland Metro on Saturday. Then the cool down, the potential bounce back occurs there. This is the GFS looking at SeaTac here. Again, 3 warm days, then the big cool down here, and then maybe bouncing back quite quickly here. And don't get too excited about this 6-hour precip here. If you look really closely, that's 0.02 of an inch of rain. That's not even 100th of an inch of rain there. That would be maybe just trace amounts, but interesting graph values there. This is daily 2-meter max temperature here, National Blend of Models. Seattle today looks like mid-80s coming up. Look at the Willamette Valley potentially getting up towards the mid-90s here. And then we go tomorrow. Look at this, a warm day across the region. Again, look at this 100 plus for a lot of the areas east of the Cascades. Sunday, a bit of a cool down, but still quite a warm day here across the region. Then Monday, you can really see that onshore flow and the Mother Nature air conditioning here kind of kicking in across the area, cooling things down. Again, Tuesday, probably a little bit below average for some of the region, but you can see it already bouncing back here across some of the Willamette Valley. And then we go into Wednesday, potentially bouncing back as we go through the end of next week coming up here. But we'll watch that one over the next few days as well. This is 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook. And you can see the average temperature for this time of the year across the region. And we are expecting above average temperatures here for the 6 to 10 day outlook. That would cover the time after the trough moves through. So this kind of makes sense here across the region. But you can see the above average potential here coming up. This is precipitation probability outlook here, and much of the region here through July 23rd, July 19th to the 23rd here below average showing up, and all the way through the end of July, kind of that below average signal here across the region as well. And we're already plenty dry this time of year on average anyway. And this is looking at the drought monitor. We talked about this yesterday, and look at this. We've introduced some severe drought across the Cascades, all the way out, including some of the San Juan Islands even here as well. So western portions of Skagit, Whatcom County. Seattle Metro is still just abnormally dry, but that's encroaching right up towards the region here. So watch out there. Those breezy conditions during the afternoon, you could start some fires there across some of the, it seems like that happens every year near some of the highways or I-5. Some of these brush fires can get out of control, but a little bit worrisome across some of the Cascades, west slopes of the Cascades as well, being in severe drought. Hopefully we can keep away from starting some fires here this year. You guys probably remember the Bolt Creek fire that seemed to go on forever last year. Now, this is looking at current fires, and as you saw in the visible satellite, not too bad across Oregon, Washington, of course, a completely different story up across British Columbia and Alberta, up in the Northwest Territories. A lot of fires, a lot of smoke going on up there. This is total precipitation in inches here, and let's see if this is updated. There it goes. We got another day on here, and it's already very dry across much of the west here, so you can see we're not dealing with much precipitation in summertime. This is our dry season. This is looking at the ensemble mean total precipitation in inches. This goes way out. This is the one that goes out 46 days. And we're just going to kind of scroll through here pretty quickly. This is going day at a time. And you saw the chart change there as it went further out. It went from 25 to 75. So that's why that color is kind of changed there. But you can see this is definitely the West Coast dry time of the year. Here we are out through day 45 here. This goes all the way out towards the end of August. But you can see not much of a signal here for precipitation across much of the West Coast. Pretty typical. Now, this is looking percent of average. This is the anomaly. Same European 46-day outlook here that runs every day now. And as you run this out, you can see to be average, you want to be kind of in the gray there or towards that green line 100. And you can see we are clearly below average here across much of the West, including California. Look at the valley there. Big signal for below average conditions all the way towards the end of July and across much of the Pacific Northwest as well. So anyway, yeah, if you guys want to buy some of that merchandise, just go to the store right below the video here, and it helps support the channel here. And if you have any ideas for any designs or anything you want to see, I can put those on as well. And try to get more items added too. I'm going through the process of doing that right now in my spare time also. So anyway, yeah, so click like, subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.